Alright, hello my friends, and welcome to Win a Kingdom. Today, and probably in the future, I'm going to be doing a playthrough of Crusader Kings 2, which is a game by Paradox Interactive, which is one of my favorite strategy game studios. And I've been playing this game a lot lately. The goal of the game is starting in 1066 and ending in 1432 to playing as one of the rulers of medieval Europe, spread my dynasty across as much of the known world as possible, and take over the empires of the Crusader kings. You can play as an emperor who controls multiple kingdoms, such as Kaiser Heinrich of the Holy Roman Empire, or Basilius Constantinos of the Byzantine Empire. You can play as a king who rules within an empire or independently, such as King Philippe I of France, or King Harold II of England. You may recognize some of these names from Harold II fighting in the Battle of Hastings and the Battle of Stamford Bridge, which will determine the future of England. Actually, currently, the Battle of Stamford Bridge, in which the invading Norwegians fight the Anglo-Saxons near York, is happening right now, basically, because it's September 15th, 1066. So that fight is going to determine whether the Norwegians lay claim to England or whether the Anglo-Saxons hold them off and then engage in a war with Duke William the Bastard, or later to be known as William the Conqueror of Normandy, and whether England remains independent or becomes a vassal of Normandy or a vassal of Norway, we're going to see play out in the next couple years, which will be exciting. However, I am playing Duke Laszlo I, Prince of Hungary and Duke of Transylvania. I am 19 years old. I am a brilliant strategist, known for my diligence and justness, but unfortunately I am also very proud of my accomplishments, and I have a gluttonous appetite. I'm reading these for the first time myself. And I'm very honest, which helps a lot in terms of people liking me, but does not help a lot in terms of scheming and intrigue. You can see I have 5 statistics: my diplomacy, my martial ability, my stewardship, my intrigue, and my learning. I also have a couple traits there that are not super important. I am Duke of Transylvania and Count of Sechalifold, this one, as well as the Count of Bihar. And my direct vassal is Count Mattei of Fair, who is a member of my duchy and rules in Fair under my liegehood. I'm going to switch real quick to the direct vassals view, so you can see Transylvania here is the pink one. I don't know if you can see that very well, but it says Transylvania. My liege lord, as well as cousin, is King Salomon I of Hungary. My direct heir is Prince Geza, Prince of Hungary, who, if I die, I will be playing as this guy. He is the Duke of Nyitria and the Duke of Slovakia. So he controls, like, basically half of Hungary is under his control. Other important players in the Kingdom of Hungary are Prince Lempert, Duke of Ungvar, who is 15, and has whose regent is Christoph, who controls Ungvar in his stead until he comes of age, as well as Count Keled of Bax, who owes allegiance to no duchy. His county is independent, although it is de jure, that means of law, or sort of traditionally, basically, a member of the Duchy of Thames, which is ruled over by Count Elek of Xanad, who controls Xanad, and Thames. There is currently no Duke of Thames, although Count Xanad, because he controls 2 of it, or Count Elek, because he controls 2 of the 3 counties, could lay claim on the Duchy of Xanad. So that sort of gives you a feel for the political situation inside of Hungary. Outside of Hungary, the Pechenegs, infidels under Khan Kejen I, rule to the east. To the north, the kingdoms of Rus under the dynasty of Rurikovich are fragmented into several duchies. The old king of Rus died, and the duchies of Novgorod, Rostov, Kiev, and Ryazan as well, and Polotsk were inherited by his children. To our north is the Kingdom of Poland, and to our south the Kingdom of Croatia, and to our southeast the massive and powerful Byzantine Empire. Meanwhile, to the west, the Holy Roman Empire covers nearly the entirety of Eastern Europe, and is ruled over by the most powerful man in the world, Kaiser Heinrich IV. The current pope is Pope Alexander II, and he is my religious. He's the head of my religion, so I owe religious allegiance to him. Of course, to the south, the dirty Orthodox Christians rule, and are against us Catholics, but hey, at least they're better than the infidel Pechenegs and Cumanians. The massive empire of Cumania to the east is probably, or the massive Khanate of Cumania, is probably the biggest existential threat to Europe right now, although the Seljuks, the Sultanate of Seljuk, is also a huge and devastating influence on the world. So, political situation out of the way, let's talk about the game. Actually, let's talk about the characters real quick. We've talked about my vassals, or my direct vassal, Count Mete of Fair, who's also, he is my most important vassal, but I also have the rulers of my baronies within my counties, the city of Haramshek, the bishopric of Arinashek, the city of Debrecen, and the bishopric of Negivarad. Please forgive me if you're from Hungary or somewhere in this area and you can actually pronounce these names, because I cannot. And then, so they're the grand mayors and bishops. Their mayors and bishops report to me directly, so they are my vassals, my direct vassals. And then I indirectly have the city of, oh god, I'm not even going to try, and the bishopric of Arad, who are direct vassals of Count Mete, but are vassals of me through him. I can call on a certain number of levies of soldiers from him, as well as raising levies from my own provinces, and I get taxes. The provinces that I control directly, I get all of the taxes and all of the levies from, and the provinces that I control through vassals, I get a percentage based on how much they like me, and certain other things. The other important people in my kingdom are my council, my chancellor, Mayor Abel of Debrecen, who is one of my mayors. His job is to do diplomacy, so he can improve diplomatic relations between me and other rulers. He can sow dissent between other rulers and their vassals, and he can fabricate claims on nearby counties. So, like, for example, if I were to want to rule the county of Bax, which I do, I would be like, yo, go fabricate a claim. And so what he's going to do is fake some papers that say that really I should rule Bax. Without a reason, you cannot declare war. The rule of chivalry is strong in this world. So without a reason, you can't declare war on anyone. My marshal, Orban, one of my courtiers, his job is to suppress revolts within my territory, although we can look at the revolt risk meter and see it's all super green. Well, actually, Fair has a tiny revolt risk, just because it's a different culture from mine. But anyways, so his job is to suppress revolts, to train troops, which raises the size of my available levies, and to research military technology, which sort of gives me general improvements on my military. My steward, Xongor, his job is to collect extra taxes, oversee construction to speed it up, or research economic technologies, which we're going to do in the, so my capital, I rule from the seat of Sekelefold, so we're going to research economic technology in Sekelefold. Technology is based by county, not globally, so it's like, this game is incredibly detailed. I already went over how there's 5 layers of vassalhood, right? Empires, kingdoms, duchies, counties, and baronies, and you can play as any of the you can play as counts, dukes, kings, or emperors. So I could be playing as the ruler of the Byzantine Empire, or the ruler of the Holy Roman Empire, but then we would spend the entire first, year of this video introducing everybody. And we're going to be sending my spy master, Zolt, to go study the technology of Rome. Rome is like probably the most developed place in the world right now, so we're going to be trying to steal their tech because it's sweet. And we're going to be researching cultural technology with my chaplain, whose job is to convert people to my religion, Catholicism, research cultural technology, or improve religious relations between bishops, or between with me and the Pope. So, that's all before we have unpaused the game. You can see what is awesome about this game is just how much stuff is going on. The other thing that I need to do is I am currently unmarried, and that simply will not do. So we're going to go arrange a marriage for me, and I believe there's a couple possible options. I could marry, for example, Anna. I could become betrothed to Anna, a 13-year-old princess of the Byzantine Empire. I am 19 years old. And gain an alliance with the Byzantines. I could marry Matilda, the Duchess of Tuscany, which would give our children, which would have our children inherit the Duchy of Tuscany, which is over here in Holy Rome, in Italy. And I think I'm going to do that. So I'm going to send an offer to Matilda, the Duchess of Tuscany, see if she will marry Laszlo. And I need to pick, so my ruler is unmarried, I also need to pick an ambition. These are basically little things that if you fulfill this thing, you can you get a small bonus. So because I'm about to get married soon, we are going to get married. My ambition will be to marry, because that's an easy one to fulfill. So currently, Prince Laszlo, at 19, desperately wants to marry, which makes sense because he needs to have an heir to his dynasty. Furthermore, I can press a weak claim. So I have a weak claim to the throne of Hungary, which gives me a pretext for war against King Solomon of Hungary. Of course, if I were to try to claim Hungary for my own, he would crush me, being a king and me being a duke, and having 3 counties to draw from, and he has all of the rest of these to draw from. I could also try to claim Hungary for my sister, Princess Maria of Hungary. Or I could declare independence, or I could just try to depose him and see who rules. And install Prince Laszlo of Hungary's favorite heir, which would probably be me, since I have a claim. But we're not going to do that. The other thing that I could do is declare war on the Khan of the Pechenegs, because I could declare holy war for Wallachia, this area, or for Moldau. Now, if I do this, I can probably count on the support of some of my nearby... hang on, I can probably... I'm screwing up the menus. Probably count on the support of some of my near relations. So, like, the Duke of Ungvar will probably join me in the war for Wallachia, as will the Duke of Neetria. If I take over Wallachia, that will give me an entire second duchy to call my own, as well as expanding Catholicism against the dirty infidels to the east. Now, the problem is, this is an entire kingdom, the kingdom of Pechenegs, or entire Khanate, actually, and it's quite possible that they will bring in members of their religion. So, for example, the Cumanians could join this war, and they are incredibly powerful and dangerous. So it's a bit risky, but I think we're going to do it. We're going to declare holy war for Wallachia against Khan Kegan I of the Pechenegs. Now we can call in allies, such as Prince Lampert of Hungary, who is the Duke of Ungvar, who will probably say yes, and Prince Geza of Hungary, who is the Duke of these two other places. Good words. He's the Duke of Neritria and Neitria, and I forget where else. He's Count of Fedor and Pashtin, anyways. The Duchy of Thames to my west is also fragmented, so we're going to try to we're going to declare civil war against Count Keled of Bax at some point and try to take over Bax. But for now, we're just going to try to take over Wallachia. And we're going to do this with the aid of the other dukes in my realm. So, having done that, we are going to unpause the game, so now things can start happening. The game has 5 possible speeds. Notice that they immediately called levies up. We are going to do the same. These are my personal levies, they come from my county, and these are my vassal levies, who come from the cities and counties under my rule. And they will help me fight against, and these are my troops. You don't have standing forces unless you create a retinue, which is very expensive, and I can't do that yet. Count Otto of Sekfar has founded the Prince Petar for Hungary faction, so that's a faction within our empire. And Matilda has agreed to marry me. Beautiful Matilda, 20-year-old Duchess of Tuscany, and Duchess of Spoleto. She's also heir to the County of Lucca. So that is a pretty huge boost to my available power. Now, if she was independent, I could call on her to join in the war, but she's not. I can't call on the... Just because I'm married to one of his duchesses, I can't call on the entire Holy Roman Empire to go to war with me. But if this duchy was independent of Holy Rome, then I could call on her aid. And she's more powerful than probably all of Hungary put together, because Holy Rome is hugely more developed than Hungary and the East. Anyways, the other thing I need to do is pick another ambition, because I was just married, so I believe my next ambition is going to be... I could be wanting to be King of Hungary. That's a pretty good ambition. I could want to become, say, Spy Master or Marshal of Hungary, which would be kind of sweet. Or I could want to have a son, which would be nice. I actually think my ambition is to become Marshal of Hungary. Because if the king makes me Marshal of Hungary, it will increase my martial skill. And my brother, Prince Geza, is also the blue troops, joining me in the war for Wallachia. So that's pretty good. It looks like things are going to go well in this war. My troops are meeting up with the chief. So how wars work is, I have a war score of 0% currently. It goes from -100 to +100. If it reaches +100, then he will yield me the territory that I've claimed, or fulfill the demands that I've claimed, which could be basically anything. We're going to be joining this troop up. We have 2 flanks to our army. I am leading the center flank. I, Prince Laszlo, am leading the center flank, which consists of 150 light infantry, 236 heavy infantry, 32 pikemen, 177 light cavalry, and 10 archers. These are not abstract numbers. This is actually how many people are ruling. And my Marshal Orban is leading the left flank. We don't have enough troops on the right flank to make it worth leading. I'm pausing the game frequently so that I can take things out. And my 1542 troops are going to go after the Pechenegs' 971 troops here in Bilbad. Biblad. Birlad. Here in Birlad. We also have... The longer I keep my vassal levies raised, the less they like me, because it costs them money. The less my vassals like me. Oop! Their army has just appeared, so I think we're going to be backing off now. And meeting up with my allies, so that we can form one big mob and go after the Pechenegs together. So, where are you going? You're going to Fair, so we're going to meet up in Fair. Ideally, the 1800 troops of Nitria will arrive. Uh-oh. Yeah, we can't... We do not want to go to Fair yet, because we're going to run into the Pechenegs. But if they attack me here in Bihar, then my troops will arrive pretty much as the battle is happening, and this should be a favorable battle for us. This is also a hilly territory. My brother wishes to become King of Hungary as well. So factions within Hungary are an important thing. We'll talk about that after this war. We're fighting, but my troops have arrived. We're also fighting, defending a hilly territory. We have a pretty big advantage. As well, my leaders are much better than their leaders. So we should handily win this battle. As well, this battle has shown my true mettle, and I have become brave. Perfect. Or, so I gained the Brave trait, which gives me +2 Martial. It's a pretty big deal. Also, meanwhile, the soldiers of Hungary, the counts of Hungary are revolting. But that's okay, we don't need to worry about that. We're just gonna go take over, because basically everybody wants to be king of Hungary. During a regency, revolts are pretty common, and of course my cousin King Salomon is too young to rule on his own. So, the rulers of, oh god, I was wounded, of Senad and Pest and Thames are going after the throne, but of course the armies of Hungary will be able to handily smash them. We're not joining the revolt. We could help fight it off. These guys are going to Tirgovist, so we're just going to keep hunting them down. We're going to besiege these territories. As you can see, we are ably smashing them in this war currently. And we're going to besiege the county of Targovist. Unfortunately, the enemy was able to smuggle food into their territory. But they're raising more troops, but our 3,000 troops, we have crushed them successfully at the Battle of Targovist, the Battle of Debrecen, the Battle of Fair, and the Battle of Targovist, losing very few troops. We lost 947 to their 2,263, and then 113 to their 889, and then 26 to their 554. Basically, we're smashing the Pechenegs in this holy war, and we'll soon be able to take over. As well, my cousin, or my brother, Prince Lazar, is leading the army for my cousin King Salomon against the revolting dukes, and is very quickly going to smash them in the revolt as well. Meanwhile, here in my capital county, we're going to be erecting some castle walls, which will basically just make my castle a little better. Tougher to take, it increases the size of levies I can drive, and raises the amount of taxes that I can get from them. I mean, it's pretty cheap. This is my monthly income, plus 1.57 gold. I currently have 21 gold, and yeah, you can see that for yourself. So now we just wait for this siege to happen. Meanwhile, so actually, to prevent my vassals from getting too pissed off, I'm going to send their 200 troops home from this war, and that way they won't get too angry. As you can see, they're already getting a little bit pissed off because I have been costing them a lot of money running their troops around in barbarian wastelands. Because he controls all of Wallachia, he's going to get a bonus, which will grow over time. But the more of his territories we take, so we took the Targovist, the county capital, now we're besieging the city of Petesti, and then we'll besiege the temple. Cities and temples are much faster to take than baronies, than feudal baronies, but they take you have to take the castle before you can besiege the city. Anyways, so that's my job, trying to claim rulership of Hungary. Just taking a look at the rest of the world, you can see England has fragmented into a number of little duchies, as has, or actually, never mind. England has managed to hold off. I was just looking at it from the wrong view. Now England has fragmented into a number of little duchies, and the rulers of Champagne and Amiens and Flanders are revolting against France. Uh-oh. The attack weakened, so my troops took some casualties, but we were able to successfully besiege the city of Petesti. And then we're going to besiege the temple of Cortea de Arges. Meanwhile, no other major wars seem to be happening. Oh, actually, the kingdom of Castile has grown to encompass the kingdom of Leon. So Castile is, like, growing. There might actually be an empire, a kingdom in Spain soon. The Empire of Hispania could be formed. But meanwhile, we are... Oh, nice! Oh yeah, not shooting blanks. Got my wife pregnant. My wife, Matilda, the Duchess of Tuscany, will bear me an heir. Tuscany, as you can see, is friggin' huge. It's like much larger. And the revolt is over. The count was killed, and King Solomon imprisoned a number of my fellows. I'm still wounded, unfortunately, which could be bad. I could die of my wound. But because we're smashing them in this war, Con Kegan of the Pechenegs has decided to surrender. We're going to gain piety because this is a holy war, as well as prestige. Those are my two major stats that basically that shows how well I'm doing. And loot, and we're going to gain the Duchy of Wallachia. So, also, we're able to fabricate a claim on the County of Bax, but we'll talk about that in a second. This is going to cost me gold and prestige. Okay, so I just became Duke of Wallachia. So what this means is that the County of Turnu, which is the county capital, Turnu, which is the capital of Wallachia, I believe, is going to be, I'm going to keep that as my direct, actually I'm going to keep Turnu and Severin, and then we're going to give away these two territories to my noble soldiers. We're also going to disband my levies, because I don't need to have levies up while I'm not fighting currently. We can also create a title. I can make myself the Duke of Wallachia, which I believe I will in a second, once I have enough gold to do so, because that will give me more prestige. But currently this is just all Transylvania at the moment. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to create new vassals, so I'm giving these baronies away to new people. So there's now mayors and bishops of Craiova and Ursova, and we are going to give to my loyal council, such as Mayor Abel of Debrecen, for being so... Actually, he likes me 100 already, there's no point in giving him a title. Alright, Bishop Bonuslo, he can be a count. We're going to give him the County of Tirgovist, as well as all holdings underneath it. And I gained some piety because I gave it to the church as well. And my spy master, it's important to keep your spy master happy, because if they scheme against you, things are bad. We are going to give him the County of Galaz. So I now have two more vassals, two more direct vassals. And control this entire area. As well, actually I could have kept another one of those counties. Whoops. Because my domain size, my maximum domain size is 5. What that means is that if I control more than 5 direct baronies, so county capitals or little baronies, it's going to, then everybody gets pissed off, I lose money, it's bad basically. You don't want that to happen. Count Igor of Torquay, I cannot declare war on him. But what I can do, after moving my Chancellor to Thames, to fabricate a claim on Thames, is I can declare war on Count Kellet of Bax, to claim Bax for myself, using the fabricated claim that my Chancellor was able to get. I can also, I'm going to lose titles because, anyways, my heir, I don't have a son, so my heir is currently Prince Geza, so they're going to split stuff. My succession is the agnatic, cognatic, gavelkine succession, which means basically that all of my territories are split between all of my sons, or a daughter will inherit if if I have no son who can legitimately inherit. But I have no son right now, so all of my territories, if I die, will be split between my brothers, which is much worse for me. Anyways, we're going to declare war on Bax, and we're going to raise our soldiers. We shouldn't need to bring in allies for this conflict unless he does, but my troops are going to meet up in Tenad, and then we're going to go fight him in Bax. Actually, I will need to raise my county, or my vassal levies, because 1,000 troops against 935 could be pretty risky, so we're just going to get my whole army together and go smash him. King Solomon is ransoming a few of the rebels from his dungeons, dirty rebel scum. This is another thing, this guy's a traitor, so I do not mind fighting him. These guys will be in Sinat on the 19th of December, and that guy's going to arrive on the 11th of December, so I need to actually send my troops there, because he's going to go fight me in Thames, so my troops need to arrive in Thames quickly enough to fight him. Okay, there we go. Never mind. He moved because he knows he can't fight my main army, so he's just going to run away. Anyways, I'm going to group my whole army together. He's going to run for, I believe he's running for Tirgovist. So we're just going to follow him and run his troops to the ground, and then we're going to go besiege his capital once we've smashed his armies. I have decided to institute the limited crown authority law in the Kingdom of Hungary. So Hungary currently has independent vassals, but King Salomon wants to make us responsible for providing more taxes and more troops, which I guess I will approve. Because I want to be king of Hungary someday, so it'll be fine. And we are chasing him down as he besieges Tirgovist. We're going to catch him. Lords of Hungary have instituted the limited crown authority law, so now I'm a little bit harder off for cash and troops. My troops outnumber him vastly, so we should be able to smash this guy in this battle. The battle is actually going pretty poorly, considering I don't have very many archers, and we're standing at a distance right now, is what those blue arrows mean. But as soon as we close to melee range, my massive infantry advantage was able to just smash this guy. His troops are running to the nearby county of Fair, and I had a daughter, which means I have a new heir. So all of my territories will go to my daughter on my death. And we're just going to continue hunting down the last of his troops. Oh, actually I can have this guy run this as well. My wound still hasn't healed yet, which is pretty bad. But as a brilliant strategist, I'm extraordinarily militarily adept. My vassals are getting kinda pissed because I have been holding their troops, because their troops have been raised for so long. So we're gonna remove vassal levies, and then we're just gonna send my troops over here to besiege the county of Bax. We should have enough troops to take it. You need more troops outside than inside. Oh, I guess I don't have enough to take it, so I need to raise my vassal levies again. Oh, I always hit the wrong button there. Newly conquered territories don't provide levies for some time. Nice, and this county has converted to Catholicism, which is awesome. Oh no! I've become ill because of my wound. Rebels have taken over the nearby county of Constantia, but I don't really need to worry about that. So I could declare another holy war on this guy, except that I signed a truce with him after the end of the last war, so it will cost me a lot of prestige and have me labeled as a truce breaker if I do that, which is bad. You don't want that to happen. So we have to wait for the truce to run out, or for his vassals to rebel, although he doesn't have any currently. He doesn't currently have any direct vassals, but if his vassals were to rebel, then I could take over those territories. These independent territories I have no claim on, so I can't take them, even though it would be kind of nice to do that. You can always declare war on infidels, or on people you have a blood claim from, so like, for example, I can't claim Hungary because it's not a... Or, yeah, I could still claim Hungary for myself, and probably will eventually, once I've taken enough duchies to make it worth my while. I can also just keep smashing people. So we have enough gold to build castle walls in my other in my second capital county. Severin and Turnu are my others. And Bex will be the last one once I finish taking it. A revolt has broken out in Severin. Oh shit. That's what happens when you take... Whoa, that's a big war. What's going on here? That's what happens when you take territories. Sometimes they rebel against you. Nice, okay, I recovered from my illness. That's good. Basically, illnesses can go two ways. Either you can survive it, or you can die. Although, that's pretty much always true. A few people want... so while this war is going on, let's look at the intrigue thing. I can choose a plot. So, for example, I could plot to revoke the County of Fair from my vassal, so, like, remove him from power. I could plot to kill my wife, the Duchess of Tuscany, although I don't want to do that, because I would not inherit Tuscany currently. Or, if I do that, my daughter will inherit Tuscany. But I'd rather wait until I have a son, at the very least, before I kill my wife. I could plot to kill my nephew, but none of those plots seem that exciting. Duchess Sophia, though, is plotting to kill me. So we're going to talk to her and try to ask her if she will end the plot. No, she still wants to kill me. Duchess Sophia of Neitria. She really wants to kill me. Damn. I want to become Marshal for King Solomon, but he won't let me. Unfortunately, my Marshal Orban was lamed. He was maimed in the last fight. And he passed away as a result of his injuries. Oh, my sister Maria. I will find Maria a husband, no worries. So I could make... So, Christoph, the Bishop of Nagyarvarad, wants to become Marshal, so we're going to appoint him Marshal, and we're just going to send him to here to train troops. Also, the war, because we occupy Pax, we won 4 battles, we can demand his surrender now, and he will surrender. And now I am the Count of Bax. And I gain a couple more vassals, and we're going to disband my levies. Which is perfect. So I, as the Count of Bax, part of the Duchy of Transylvania, which you can see is de jure consists of these 3 counties, but currently consists of all of those, which is awesome. We are de jure a part of the Kingdom of Hungary and the Empire of Carpathia. So if I controlled enough of these territories directly, I could found the Empire of Carpathia, which would be kind of sweet, but I don't control enough of those yet. Oh, game's paused currently, I should unpause it. As you can see, my vassals are getting quite pissed because of how long their troops were... how long I had their troops called up. They don't have the technology to level up their castle walls in these 2 places, so we will just not be able to do that. I can make myself Duke of Wallachia, because I control all the territories in the de jure Duchy of Wallachia. If I want to, I could do that. But currently, I think that's a bad idea. Notice that the Holy Roman Empire, or the Byzantine Empire, is like falling apart. Bunch of places are rebelling and revolting. Also, Tuscany has left the Holy Roman Empire, along with Lombardy and Coma and a number of other places, and is now an independent duchy, which is great for me because it means I can call on her troops, on my wife Matilda's troops, if I need to. Although chances are pretty good they're going to lose a war and end up getting reincorporated because the Holy Roman Empire is huge. Although, I don't know, actually the Holy Roman Empire is having a lot of wars going on inside it. Oh yeah, okay, the other thing that we can take a look at now is factions. So there are 3 factions in the Kingdom of Hungary, and no factions currently in the Duchy of Transylvania, because I actually don't have... I only have like 1 vassal, and that's the Count Mate. And these are people who want Geza, my brother, Lampert, my other brother, or Peter, my other brother. Actually, no, Peter's not my brother. Dang. Okay, well, this one I definitely don't support, to become King of Hungary. I could actually support that, but... actually, a lot of people are joining Prince Peter's. He's not my brother. He's not my blood relative, which actually sucks. But yeah, a lot of people are joining those factions. So I could found my own faction, such as Seniority Succession, which would make Prince Geza King of Hungary. Primogeniture Succession. I could also found, like, all of these people have claims on Hungary. Whoa, that's another war for Hungary. Hang on a second. And we finished our walls in Bihar. Alright, so there's a major war for Hungary going down. I could also claim Hungary for myself or for my sister, because there's a succession war happening. No, Salomon's not dead. Did he marry? Yeah, he married Princess Jutta of the Holy Roman Empire. It looks like the King of Hungary has enough troops to just smash this rebellion again, so there's no point in like throwing myself into it. I could help defend from it if I want this guy to be king, but honestly I don't really care who's king unless it's me. Any of my brothers are more or less the same for me, and if a few of my brothers are killed off, that's fewer people to plot against me later. Anyways, now that I've taken Bax and Wallachia, I think we're going to cut the episode here, because Transylvania has grown from a small 3-county duchy to a large 8-county duchy over the course of only 5 years, so things are going well for us so far. Anyways, I hope you have enjoyed this series. I'm going to be back with more momentarily. I will probably just play this again, and then we'll talk about this in a bit. Let me know what you think about this kind of content, if you like this idea, if you will watch more of it, if this is just too slow for you. Future installments will be much less slow because there will be less explaining going on. Maybe I could like play multiplayer with people. Maybe that would be more interesting. I don't know. But yeah, let me know what you think, and feel free, if this is your first time at in the channel, to comment, rate, and subscribe as always. And cheers, folks. This was Eteran.